Hey guys, it's Kate and I'm back after having a break of almost 2 months without posting anything. But yay, I'm finally back, and tomorrow hopefully we'll have electricity in the house, so that was the reason why I didn't post any videos. But I wanted to come back to YouTube with a video, kind of a blogish entry I think, and I wanted to show you my sketchbook. I've never shown this, like my sketchbooks. I don't show them around usually, but I just wanted to show you how messy a sketchbook can be. So it's not those kind of like super cool like art style sketchbooks, but this is just how my thoughts actually grow into drawings, paintings, and illustrations. So yeah, if you're interested, keep watching. So this is the latest sketchbook that I have. The problem that I had with sketchbooks usually is that I don't fill them out completely, so this is the first one that is actually filled out until almost the end. And this has been in the last about 3 weeks. This is just drawings that I do every day, and it's very important to actually keep drawing, because especially if you're drawing from life. So this is just some crappy stuff, completely crappy. This is badgers. I had this idea that I have to create a character, and I was working on different shapes, and you can see how messy it is. And this is while I still was using the graphite pencil. Now I found that I like the most colored pencils, and especially the Stabilo kind. They're really cool. They keep the point very long. And you can see how the character kind of evolved, and finally it became this. Like, I really liked this one, and I actually did an illustration of this one wrapped up in a scarf, but Ellie got to watercolor and she just painted over it, so but you can see that it's just a lot of sketches, ideas. Also, when I'm working on an animal character, I usually go and sketch a couple of animals just to get the idea about how the anatomy is, just to get the most important parts of the animal, just to remember them. And you can see the difference between these terrible, terrible sketches made without a reference, and this is already with a reference. This is me and Coco outside and just trying to catch people actually walking. So here's Coco, like she's my usual subject. But here are people, like you will see how it's been a very long time since I sketched from life, and you will see how these sketches, like just lines, evolved into something pretty much resembling real people. Coco, she's really good at looking at me, like staring at me. Being a border collie, she's like staring at me, so it's really good. An opportunity, like it's a really good opportunity to actually draw her. And people, when they're moving, was a bit more difficult in the beginning when I started sketching again. Also, I started sketching again a lot because Ellie is at grandma's and I have some more free time. So you can see just some ideas, something I've seen. This is not mine. This one too, some ideas that I've seen on Pinterest. Also, a great idea is to keep a Pinterest board of things that you like and kind of draw inspiration from them. Do not copy them in your artwork. You can copy them just to see how they are built, how the illustrator or the artist has gone around and created the illustration or the artwork, but never ever do copy from someone and claim the artwork to be yours. So you can see already here the images are a lot more looking like humans. So for example, you can see that this was the first one. I usually take a couple of minutes to actually warm up, so from the terrible one it goes into some better ones. And looking at these, this is the same girl, for example. I hope she looks the same, but looking at these I can remember the people and I remember what they kind of talked about. Also I go to this bar every morning now and I take a coffee with Coco and we're kind of there drawing. Here are some ideas. I was trying to make a bookmark for myself. So just some ideas, and you can see how rough they are. Again, Coco, again, things drawn without a reference are a lot worse. Some scratchy parts also. Again, Coco, and this was a guy playing baseball with his son, but he was so angry at the son, like he was screaming at the poor little guy all the time. I felt so bad for him. And here's Coco, if you can see like the shapes of Coco. He was just trying to get... Here I watched 30 Days of Night. I was trying to sketch very fast the protagonist, but yeah, I know that he doesn't look like that. So I still have to work on my skills of actually trying to get people to look like real people. And again, sketches in the park, in the bar. There was this lady with a scarf that was like covering her mouth, and I found that really interesting. Also, you can catch sometimes things that you actually do not notice, and when you're sketching, it actually makes you look at those things and pay bigger attention. This is from a class on Craftsy now, I think it's like called Blueprint or something, on character development from Lynn Chapman. So this is her character again. These are just some of my ideas. Also, this way, how should a snake eat soup? So just some thoughts. Again, 30 Days of Night, Ripley. Yeah, this is just horrible sketches, but Riddell, I like Riddell. I like science fiction and horror movies. Then, again, bar sketches, and you can see how different they are to the first sketches that I did. Where is it? Where is it? Here. So you can see that this is just some basic shapes, and here they actually remind me of those people that I see in the bar, and it's usually the same kind of people coming over and over again. And this guy, he is there every day, and he has these very particular eyebrows that kind of create a shape of a triangle, and he looks very sad all the time. So trying out some collage, not a collage fan, but just something different. Again, searching for ideas, writing something down. Usually I find that writing, it actually helps me think more creatively. Let's say I get to more interesting things when I write stuff down. And these ideas, actually, some of them I have them in real illustrations that I took until the end, and some of them are just kept like not even halfway through. You can see just a circle for the head. These are the illustrations by Riddell. I was just looking at his illustrations and copying them because I really like his style, and I just wanted to see how his lines work. So these are not mine. The horrible one, of course, is mine. Again, Riddell, the rest is mine. So this one is another illustration that I kind of almost brought until the end, but I didn't like the result, so it's just kind of lying there in the stack of stuff that I don't like. And this one was after I watched, I usually put a movie or something on the background, or a book, an audiobook. This one was after the Red Riding Hood, the movie. They put it on Netflix, so it was kind of on the background. And again, Riddell, you can see how awesome this is. This is his work, just trying to copy it, and as they say, learn from the best. But again, as I'm saying, it's very important that you do not show this as your work. This one was a character that kind of came to my mind when I was working on, in fact, there is this prompt, Fire, and it was for Illustration Friday, so it's like a kind of inspiration spark for illustrators and artists. And again, trying to draw something in the style of Riddell, but okay, this is mine, and you can see how much worse it is. But this is again the same character that came here, and I kind of worked on it a bit more, and I have a finished illustration also in my portfolio of this character. Then again, bar. So basically this is every day, every morning at the bar, and just drawing out people. Again, Riddell, some faces. This lady, she comes to the bar almost every day as well, and I can remember these people actually looking at them, and I can remember some parts of the dialogue that I overheard maybe. So this is actually me. if you do not recognize it, but yeah, that's me. So weirdly enough, that's me. It wasn't a very good day. It was a very like sad day. In fact, you could see the images. This one just was a picture that I found on Pinterest of a girl, and kind of turned out okay. This guy, he actually came up to me. He asked to see. He was like, "Am I that old? Really?" He was, yeah. But now I have people coming to me like and asking to see my sketchbook over and over, which is nice. I'm not that like shy about it. So again, just emotions. Again, it's the same class by Lynn Chapman. And the guy, he was, I think, doing a crossword here. Coco, just a very fast sketch, and you can see which ones are the beginning sketches and which ones are like when I have warmed up. And here we were watching a movie. I don't remember what movie it was, but I forgot the name of this actor. But anyway, and this is Orange is the New Black, kind of, not very close. But anyway, again, this is for Illustration Friday. There was a prompt that was electronic, and it kind of made me think about, I think it was Dick who said that famous sentence, "Do androids dream of electric sheep?" So it was just kind of an electric sheep that I did then in pastel, by the way. And my friend Stefano was trying something. And then there was this period when I was drawing in the black pencil. This was for They Draw and Cook. Something just like an idea of a soup. So there's like me and Deli. And we're kind of looking into the pot. So penguins. This was an idea for a yellow brick road. So initially I had like these trees, and I took inspiration from Riddell because I really like her style as well and how she draws. She's amazing. And it grew into this yellow brick road thing that I actually did the illustration until the end. Again, some sketches. This is like a bad day of sketch. Nothing came. There are some really bad days that you don't manage to draw anything. Again, this was, I went to an open lesson to the local design school, and they had this like open lesson for illustration, and these were the ideas of a collage that I did. So the point was of making portrait using only like basic shapes, and the kind of concept was less is more. So I did Dante and Dali, and I did it in collage. You can also see it on my Behance, I think. I have it there, and on my web page. No, I don't have it on my web page, but on Behance I have these, both of them done in collage, and then some other stuff. Then also this was in collage, like the idea of a dog and the person. So you can see these are just rough sketches, and these are the two girls that I met that are actually studying there. So they're both illustrators as well, and I just caught them talking. So you can see how rough these sketches are, and it's just the main idea. It's not the beautiful like finished artwork kind of sketchbook. I don't manage to keep those. Again, some sketching of people. This is the same guy with the sad eyebrows. He's there every day, by the way. He was there today too. And here I dripped some coffee. So again, inspiration by Riddell. And this was the idea again for a prompt of Illustration Friday. So it's been more than 3 weeks. So this was the idea for a fairy tale, and I had this wolf kind of wrapping around the Red Riding Hood. And the illustration was kind of ugly. But this one was from yesterday. This is my sheep. But in the beginning I thought of having it like a white sheep, but then it's kind of came to me that he's black, and Ellie's kind of constantly saying this Baba black sheep. So this is just some ideas about this black sheep, and I really like the one with the biscuit, like he was chewing the biscuit. So for now you can see that I almost finished this one, and I just wanted to show you another one. This one is another one of my sketchbooks, and here, as the pages are not as transparent, it's also on moleskin, but here you can see that I can use a pen, and there are just some sketches of everyday objects. It really helps you to understand a lot about the subject that you're actually going to paint or draw when you are doing these sketches. So you see that there was a date also. This was done in 2018, still a long time ago. My gosh, it's in August. This was in the hospital, when I was in the hospital, as usual. I'm happy and lucky enough to be in the hospital. Then I have some notes, some ideas written down. And this was actually from today, and you can see that there are crumbs from the croissant that I was eating. So these two women, the point was that basically I'm reading this book about illustration now, and the point was that you don't only sketch like the subjects, but also the environment, and it actually helps you think in 3D. It helps you create composition, and it's very important to draw from life, because in the picture you already kind of have this composition created. But when you draw from life, there are no two people that will draw the same thing and from the same perspective, and so it's a lot. It's very different from drawing from photos. And these two women were talking, and in fact this one was bragging a lot about the fact that her son went to Van Gogh, like how do you call it, exposition and museum, and there was this lady with a very long nose. And I love this thing about Italians, they have these amazing beautiful noses. Like, I think that's why my second half is Italian. So also there was this lady, oh my gosh, she was so worried about Italy being occupied. It's not that I'm eavesdropping, or it's just you hear these things, and she repeated the word occupation and how good Italy's positioned strategically, like some 10 times in like 10 minutes. And these sketches were all done very fast, because these people, they were just having a coffee and then taking off. And this was a guy also, and in fact here you can see the difference between the sketches that I was doing here, like just of that person. By the way, this guy, his wife came up to me and she's like, oh my gosh, can I see? And he actually looked like the guy that I drew, so she recognized her husband, and she called him to see, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So this one is one that actually came out good. You can see that here I managed to fill in the space, and it actually kind of creates the atmosphere of the bar that I go to. And also here, these people, they were constantly moving their position, and this guy, the guy with the eyebrows that are very sad, he was eating the croissant, but like leaning to one side, not to put the crumbs on the table, I don't know why. And you can see that this flower is the same one from here. So yeah, these are my sketchbooks. This is how I work, how I think, most importantly. And then this brings me to the final pieces that I'm doing. So even if you're just doing still lives, or not even people, just locations, it's always, always, always a good idea to actually sketch from life. Don't worry, these sketchbooks, it's just something to keep for yourself. I'm showing you this just so that you know that it's totally fine to have ugly sketches, ugly drawings, and then from those you can build up something more interesting, because these are more alive than any drawing that you do from reference material like a photo. So yeah, I will be posting more videos for sure. I have some croissant here on my table, but this is just like a comeback video. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have electricity in the house. It's been more than a month that we don't have electricity, and this is just another topic, like another terrible thing that happened to us since we moved here. But I will be posting every week as usual, and I will see you in the next videos. Also, I'd love to see your sketchbooks, so you can post those on Instagram, for example. Just tag me. And yeah, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!